It is that time. It's expert picks for the final week of the regular season presented by FanDuel. Here are the games. All of them on Saturday and Sunday. Only 2 games on Saturday, and those are going to decide the AFC North, or at least they are all going to be in the AFC North. Early window on Sunday will determine the NFC South. Late window will determine the last wild card in the AFC, and the night game, bottom right, is going to determine the 1 seed in the NFC. Ooh, look at last week. Pete and Kyle.
You went 12-5. Oh my God. You're on fire.
Kyle's having a great year. Look at him. He's 24 games over 500 overall. His best bet's 13-4. Pete, under 500 across the board.
I had a couple good weeks in a row, which is astounding, by the way.
Well,
why are your best bets so bad?
Well, I had the Packers this week. Mine are usually close, and they always go the other way.
You invested in Jordan Love.
Yours last night should have been a loser.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he had the Lions.
That's Pete Prisco, Kyle Long, Amanda Guerra. I'm Chris Hassel. Let's get into it, Amanda.
All right, so let's get into the first game on Saturday here. We have the Browns at the Ravens. The line is extraordinary in this one. It is 17.5.
Amanda wants to take Ravens money line for her best bet this week.
You didn't say good bet. You just said best bet, and I felt like it was a very good bet.
You have to pay to make that bet.
Anyway,
pay a nickel for 5,000.
You just said bet. It was just something I guarantee was going to happen.
That's a Phil Mickelson bet.
So I'm guaranteeing that's going to happen. They're going to get the AFC North. Pete, how do you address this line and the total?
Well, I mean, the number is reflective of the way the Browns have played with their quarterback situation being so bad. They don't score points, and I think the Ravens will score points. I think this one will get ugly early. And look, normally you sit there and you say 17.5 in a division game. I'm not laying that, but I can't see taking the Browns in this spot. I don't ever love laying 17.5, but I'm going to lay it. I'm going to take the Ravens.
You know what? You say division game. I feel like this Browns team should be relegated the way they've thrown this year with Deshaun Watson, with benching Jameis Winston. Yeah, I know Jameis Winston throws some picks, but at least he throws the thing.
Right.
You get an opportunity. We got a receiver up there who works in the research desk upstairs, and I said, who would you rather have, DTR or Jameis? Because some of the people are saying you throw a lot of picks if you're Jameis, but if you're a receiver and you've got DTR at quarterback, you are checked out from the first drive on. With Jameis Winston, you have to have your antennae up. You know you can score points. That's not who they're going to have. Give me the Ravens in this one.
Let me ask you this, Pete. A lot of people thought this past weekend would determine the MVP race. Where are you right now between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson? Or you could throw in the other 2 guys.
Well, it's not determined. Well, it's determined. I'm leaning in one direction. I'm not going to reveal that.
Because you have a vote, you're not going to reveal it?
We're not allowed to, supposedly, but let's put it this way.
When do you follow the rules?
I'm leaning to a quarterback in Buffalo. Let's put that
Big surprise.
All right, fair.
I'm not a voter, and it's almost criminal that Joseph Tooney is not on that list right now.
Wow. Jeez. Oh, well, always find an offensive lineman.
I haven't heard the siren. 2 months.
Who would you give it to right now, though, between the 2 quarterbacks?
I would go co-MVP.
Oh, geez.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
You can't do it.
You can't?
You got to vote for one.
Check the rule book.
One or the other.
So that game's at 4:30.
One or the other.
The other Saturday game is also in that division. Is the Steelers hosting the Bengals. Cincinnati going for a 5th straight win. That would keep them alive going into Sunday, where they would need 2 more things to happen.
Yeah, and I think they're going to win the game. I really do. I think the way Joe Burrow is playing, and the way the Steelers have played on both sides of the ball, I think Joe Burrow will go in there and score points. And I do think he's going to stay alive. I just love what he's done. And you mentioned it. If it wasn't for the record, he'd be right in the mix for the MVP. His numbers are astounding. The way he's played, when you watch him play, you see what Higgins did. How do they allow him to leave? You know what I mean? If you're the Bengals, how do you not keep that together? So I think they go in there, score points. I'll take the Bengals.
Yeah, they understand what's at stake. And I think it was Newton who says an object in motion stays in motion. That's the Cincinnati Bengals here at the end. With that door closing, that window closing, they've been sprinting towards the sunlight. They are so very close.
Twice I heard that from you
It takes
today.
a division win to get in. Go beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, who peed down their leg on Christmas Day.
It's just one of those things that he has in his pocket. Let me quote Sir Isaac Newton.
You know what? I said it on Twitter last night, and somebody said, "Oh, I didn't understand Newtonian physics was coming."
You said it on Twitter.
I said it on
this
PTP.
morning, and you said it again.
You play the hits like Dan Campbell showing up with his whole team in San Francisco.
That's almost as many times as you told people you got a tennis racket and you're playing tennis today.
Actually, that did come up already today. That did come up.
I got a new hobby. Sue me.
It was funny. He said, "Does anybody in here play tennis?" And a man was like, "I'll play," and he just totally ignored it.
Like completely ignored.
You hear that, babe? I ignore him.
Oh, that's what it comes down to. Sunday night, let's talk about this game. This is for the 1 seed here. The Lions going up against the Vikings. I will say there are some best bets in this one. I'm not going to say what. Pete, what is going to be the difference maker in this game?
The Lions defense is awful. And look, in fairness to them, in fairness to Aaron Glenn, you take the best pass rusher in the league in Hutchinson off the field. You take your best inside player in McNeil off the field. No Carlton Davis. The linebacker group is banged up. I just don't see how they're going to stop the Vikings offense. And on the flip side, the Vikings defense against the Lions offense will be fun to watch. One is a big advantage for the Vikings defense. I'm taking the Vikings.
I'm going to be taking the Vikings as well. What a complete football team, and they've seemingly stayed healthy and gotten better as the season's gone on as a football team and as an offense, because this guy Sam Darnold has been lights out, and when it mattered most, he has risen to the occasion. I love the Vikings in this spot. They're going to flip-flop that power ranking of yours.
Pay the man, by the way.
I think they should make a shirt that just says, "This guy, Sam Darnold."
This guy, Sam Darnold.
Oh, okay. See, the way you say it is different, though.
If the Vikings win this, which you guys think is going to happen, the NFC is going to go through Minnesota. Are they going to get to the Super Bowl?
They can.
Well, are they going to?
I'm not saying. I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I'm a big believer that I think the playoffs this year are going to be very unpredictable.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see the basic obvious teams that we all think they'll be. I think we're going to see some
playoff
surprises.
football in Minnesota at that stadium, what a treat, because that is like chef's kiss.
It's not like
I
it
really
was
wanna
though
go
when
to a
Pete
game
was a
there.
kid.
It is fantastic.
When
really
they,
wanna
when
go
they
to a
used to
game
play at
there.
Mall of America outside, when they were going to
Bloomington.
Super Bowls year after year.
Bloomington, it was miserable. I was a kid.
That was a great home field
And
advantage,
then,
though.
I was a kid, but the games I covered in the Metrodome might have been the worst, most annoying, loudest games I've ever been to in my entire life.
I played the Vikings week 17, back when there were 17, and we got beat so bad I gave up 2 sacks, and it was at the Minnesota Golden Gopher Stadium outside. I was frozen. I wanted to quit playing football for eternity because I was so cold. I'm glad they're inside now.
I'm going to start with a little.
Every game should be
Wanna
played
get us off the air?
Every game should be played inside.
Best
Every
product.
single one.
You are
Stop it,
boring.
Pete.
Stop being
Natural
negative,
grass
Pete Briscoe.
inside.
We've gotten
Inside.
really off track here. So let's talk about HQ. By the way, we have all of your highlights, everything you need to know about the NFL. This is my favorite promo that we
It
have.
is.
It is. I mean, it explains it succinctly, right?
It's all here.
News,
It's all in the
highlights,
details,
scores.
right?
It's all here.
Yep. Coming up next, Josh Allen is going to start for the Buffalo Bills, who have nothing to play for. But how much will he play? And will the Bills get the win against the Patriots, who are looking to lock up the #1 pick? Expert picks presented by FanDuel. We are going to hit the early window on
Yes, he's back.
Sunday.
Are you ready to try it?
You can start
Are you ready to
how
try
long
it?
You can drag that out.
Welcome to this CBS.
Think about the poor people tuning in
CBS.
right now and having to listen to that.
Yeah.
You know what? If they're in the
Probably
kitchen,
waking up some
if they're in the
cats and
kitchen and they're
dogs,
not paying attention,
children.
they turn their heads to the show now.
Yeah, or they're like, wait, I put on the tea on the stove.
Hey, and
Jesus,
by the way, it's
better
week
go get
18
it.
and he still can't do it.
CBS.
You saw the
Don't make me
CBS
laugh.
slate, both early and late. Going to focus on the early games here. Let's start with Panthers and Falcons. Atlanta needs this to have any hope, even though they need the Bucs to lose to the Saints, which doesn't seem likely. But the Falcons are favored by 7.5, Pete.
The Falcons lost a game last week that probably cost them a chance to win the division, but they found the future.
They did.
That's the most important thing. They now have sustainable success for the next decade. So Atlanta, you deserve to be applauded. You found your quarterback. He's going to be special. He's going to be a good big-time quarterback, and that's the most important thing for the long-term success. They'll win this game. He'll play well, but they're not going to make the postseason, but I think they handled things against the Panthers.
Yeah, and you bring that festival back to Atlanta. You know, you went on the road, you went toe-to-toe with the Offensive Rookie of the Year, a guy who deservedly should be in the MVP conversation, Jaden Daniels. Your rookie went toe-to-toe with him. Now you bring it back to Atlanta against Carolina, who had a terrible week this this past week against the Bucs. I love the Falcons in this spot.
Who don't you have in the MVP race?
It's got an offensive lineman in there.
Joe Tooney, Joe Burrow,
Patrick Mahomes,
Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes. I'm leaving all the winners out, obviously. Kill me on Twitter.
Does Raheem Morris need to hire someone to tell him when to take a timeout?
He needs to play Madden more.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Well, they all do. They're all terrible at game management, every single one of them. And people always go, well, Bill Belichick, he was great at it. No, he messed it up too.
Ernie, of course, he was good at it.
They all
Bill
messed
called
it up.
him off a lot.
They all
put a
mess
little
it.
Instagram post saying you could slide into my DMs if you want to come work for my team. That was interesting from Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Let's go to the team where Bill Belichick's former quarterback went.
Movie camera, hey, Cowboys fans. Today we have a story that's filled with both emotion and nostalgia, marking the end of an era for the Dallas Cowboys. You know just how important Ezekiel Elliott has been to our team's history, right? But with just one game left in the season, the franchise made a surprising decision about the future of our third all-time leading rusher. Was it the right move? Hold on, because in 50 seconds, I'll tell you everything. 3 o'clock, the current state of the Dallas Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, the legendary running back who carried our offense and brought life to our fan base so many times, was released by the franchise this week. This is the second time it's happened. The first was back in 2022 due to salary cap reasons, before he spent a season with the New England Patriots. Now, at 29 years old, Elliott has been let go again, but this time with a specific purpose, to give him a chance to sign with a playoff contender before the season ends. Fire the big decision. Jerry Jones, Cowboys owner and general manager, stated that the move was made out of respect and recognition for Elliott's history with the team. Zeke, as he's affectionately called, leaves the Cowboys with some incredible stats: 71 rushing touchdowns, third in franchise history, and over 8,000 rushing yards across 7 seasons. However, his performance in 2024 has been modest, just 226 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns, and he lost his starting role to Rico Dowdle, who has emerged as the team's lead back. Lightbulb the impact on the team and Elliott. For the Cowboys, this move underscores a commitment to youth and renewal, with players like Deuce Vaughn and Rico Dowdle stepping into key roles. For Zeke, it's an opportunity to find a new home and maybe shine again with a Super Bowl contending team. But we can't ignore the emotional weight of this farewell. We're talking about a player who made history and gave his all for the team. Flex Biceps, now we want to hear from you. Do you think the Cowboys made the right call by releasing Ezekiel Elliott? Or did he still have something to offer the team? And where do you think Zeke will land next? Megaphone, join the conversation. Share your thoughts in the comments, spread this video across your social media, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss any analysis or updates about our Dallas Cowboys. American football, go Cowboys! See you in the next video.